Hey guys, and welcome to Funked in the Head's first ever video podcast. We had the wonderful opportunity of talking to Treason of the Monarchy, and they were kind enough to answer a few of our questions. So, here's the interview in all its glory, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, I think we're good. So, guys, do you want to introduce yourselves first off?
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Who's going first? Come on.
You go. You go.
I'm John Warwick. I'm from London.
And I'm Tim Fish, and I'm from Edinburgh, but not originally, which is why I haven't got an Edinburgh accent.
And when did Treason of the Monarchy come about then?
Treason started really by an off chance. Really, we did some writing together, and we both we met because we were both listening to the same punk show through Twitter, and we were tweeting about, and we just got chatting, and we both agreed the same thing, that the 70s sounding punk scene isn't about anymore. It's moved on, and we missed it. We were listening to a lot of old tunes, Sham 69, Pistols, everything like that, and we realised that that sound wasn't about anymore. So we wrote a couple of songs, and then we thought, hang on a minute, we might have something here. Let's put our heads together and see what we can come up with, and that's really where Treason came from.
Well, I think the first writings were in January, weren't they? Roughly.
Yeah.
We did one song, and I think it took us about 6 months after, and then we started going, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it's a relatively new venture then, yeah.
Yeah. Go on then, Tim. Go on.
No, I was just saying it. Yeah, it's really new. It's took off at an unbelievable speed. To be fair, it's far exceeded what we thought. We would where we would be when we put the EP together. We didn't expect really the response that we got, did we, John?
No, not really. It has been quite shocking, but the thing is, me and Tim have got a big love for the Pistols, and I think that's the connection. And we just love that sound, and that's the sound when we put it out. It's come back quite a lot, and it was like, okay, we didn't see that. I didn't see that. Maybe Tim did. Tim said that sound's been missing for a long time.
Do you think that's why you guys are so popular, because you're bringing that back?
Yeah, I think so. I think and punk seems to have moved on. It's gone at an unbelievable speed, and there's a lot of punk about, but it's all hard and fast. I think John calls it Californian punk. And it's there's a lot like that, and it just seems to have lost its,
It's edge.
2 minutes. Yeah, it's roots edge. That's what we sort of describe it as, going back to the roots. We think that, and I think that is why we're popular. Yeah, it seems to be. I mean, John knows more on this than me, but looking at some of the stats that we see, it's certainly appealing to an older generation.
Yeah, it's around the 30s to 60s. It's like people were coming up to us and saying, like, oh, thank you, I ain't heard this for years. And it's kind of it's strange, because I'm slightly a bit younger, so it's all new to me. But like, I've always had that desire for that sound. Like, I always like going back to the core of music and realizing what it is. And when Tim says about Californian like punk, a lot of punk is very driven fast. I like this kind of melodic sound where the lyrics are important, the sound's important, the guitar's there, but it's still got that punk feel. And that's the bit that we kind of realised, because I think when we was doing the EP, I did a couple of songs. I think Tim did a couple, and there was a couple we did together, and that was The Change. And they're the two that everybody's gone crazy about. But also, I have a son, and he asked me to have a listen, and he was in a quite depressive state, and he said to me, "You're on the coals, saved me for 2 days." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "It just feels like today." And I said, "That's kind of like we wrote that from the 70s." And he said, "But yeah, but it's happening today, Dad." And that's the greatest thing, is a lot of it's old punk. Some of it is old lyrics and some of it's new lyrics, so it's modernised. And that's what we felt was right. We had this old style that we're modernising, bringing it forward to today.
Yeah, I think a lot of people appreciate that as well. I sent a couple of your songs to my dad because he's a big punk, right? He goes to he used to go to Blackpool every weekend to the punk shows and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he said that is taking him back to the 70s with the style that it is. So
it's exactly what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted. We love hearing that. It's fantastic. A guy did a review on us. We didn't even know he was going to do this review, and he hit us with an amazing bit about we took it further than what the Pistols ever dared do, and we were blown away by it, weren't we, John? You know, that's exactly what we set out to do, and that's we took it even further. I think on the album, we've really mixed it up, but it's got them Ian Jury, them Buzzcocks lyrics, you know, where it tells a little story, but then we try and do it in the way that, you know, the Pistols and Sham 69 were doing it when they were telling their stories.
yeah, well, you can definitely hear that. I mean, it must feel good to be recognised for that as well.
I'll tell you, the one that got me was the one that Tim was just talking about. When a guy said, "You've gone further than the Pistols," I was like, okay, that's a bit shocking. But it's what we liked. It's that sound. It's you know, I'm like I said, I'm younger a bit, and I could said I was in California punk, but I never liked that heavy sound. I just loved this old sound, and this sound has been missing. It's something we've always enjoyed, and I think when you play it, it just gives you a really good feeling and everything. I love it, you know, and that's the thing I enjoy the most. Is you could do that. You've got the ability to bring that sound back.
Amazing. So, name-wise, which came first, the band name or the song title?
Well, that's that was a bit both, wasn't it? We were sitting there writing, arguing over the title. I think the title was, I think it was called something else when it slightly, and then I think Tim said something like, "Why don't we just call it that?" And I was like, well, the song we had was Treason, and we was talking about obviously the monarchy, and I don't know how that come around, and then I think Tim just said, "That's a great name for a band." I thought, yeah, let's just call it Treason of the Monarchy. What a great idea!
It's a good name, man. It is.
We were fumbling around for ages with names, and we're just coming up with all sorts of absolute crap, really. And thinking, you know, there's nothing, we can't call ourselves there. One or two that we said, dare we? And then we thought we probably just won't get any fans if we did. But then when we'd written Treason of the Monarchy, we still didn't have a name. And we were saying that we'd probably, you know, treason will get done for treason. And I think it was what John had written it down, and it came through on an email about treason of something or other, and we said, we've got the name, you know, it's staring at us, Treason of the Monarchy. All we got to do is we said we've got to bring a few tunes out about the monarchy, that's all, just to keep the vibe going. But we've got a couple in the bag. We've got a couple that one where we probably will end up in the tower, but you know, we're not out to upset anybody. We're not out to shock anybody. That's not, you know, it's all been done. We based everything just on the sound and the lyrics, and I think that's what's winning people over.
Yeah. Well, it used to have a bit of a bad reputation, punk, didn't it? Very anti-establishment.
Well, that's the other thing is that we got to realise today we're in a world. We had this conversation not long ago. We're in a world where everybody's in disarray. Not just it's a whole globe. We've got a corona. All the governments are going down the pan, and the honest person just doesn't really have a chance to say what they want.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I was going to ask, actually, is do you think it's changed now? Do you think more people are open to this idea of, oh, maybe the government are wrong?
Without a doubt, you know, it's got the 70s written all over it. I'm not the only person to say this. Nothing's changed. You know, nothing's changed. Yeah, technology's changed. You know, we maybe act different, we dress different, and everything like that. But when you look at the similarities between excuse me, the 70s when punk really raised its head, nothing's changed. It's exactly the same. You know, when we wrote On the Coals, and like John's lad said, it's today. It was based on the 70s. And it was based around what we did in the 70s. You know, it mentions glue sniffing. Okay, we don't glue sniff now. They take MCAT or whatever they take. But
I'm sure people still glue sniff.
But it's the same. You know, it's the youth are fed up. They're not listening to the government. If the adults don't take Boris and the rest of the politicians seriously, the young kids aren't gonna. So I think I'd seen a tweet last night saying that everybody's fed up and all like that, and I just answered back and I put, we need a punk revolution, and it got loads and loads of likes, you know, and everybody's sort of saying the same. Yeah, bring back some punk. Let's get something going. That's what we think as well.
Yeah, we do actually strongly think that as well. Because we've also met a load of people, and they're like us, and it's like, well, why don't you say something? Say what you want. Use your voice. Tell the truth. This is what music's about. You write music from the heart. You don't, just write that. You write how you feel, and that's how we write. And now other people are starting to catch on. This is what I want to do. And it's getting bigger.
People want to hear that, though. I think a lot of people think it, they're just too scared to say it.
I think this has been like this for a while, though. A lot of people are scared to say.
Yeah.
It's one of the debates we got a song. Because we've already thinking of a second album, because we got an EP, now we've got a new album coming out, and we've already started on the second album. We had a point when we said this is very hard song to write. And I said to Tim, look, if you want to say something, you have to say it. It's part of life. If you don't say it, you're just going to suppress yourself. Just say it, and let's see where it goes. And sometimes you have to do that. What is your life about? Is it about you? A lot of people I find are very depressed and hide away. Now it's time to say, let's get over this depression stuff and come out and say what you want. And you meet people that are just like you, and you think, this is very strange. I always thought I was alone. So it's a very strange sort of feeling to have when everybody's feeling the same.
Exactly, and if no one talks about it, you don't know they feel the same, do they?
Well, I don't think punk's been as strong as it is now for a long time. I know there's a heap of punks. There's a heap of people that were punks years ago and still love the punk music. Like you were saying, your dad goes down to Blackpool and things like that. You go down there and it's every punk under the sun's there. But I think especially in Scotland, there's a big punk scene. There's a lot of punk bands around, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of gigs in Edinburgh and Glasgow and Dundee and what have you. So there's a big following. I think it just needs, the more the merrier. And if we've tapped into to a little thing and found out that this is, you know, we can add our bit to it, then the more people that add to it, the stronger it'll get. Bring back the punks. I can't dye my hair and spike it anymore, unfortunately, though. So bring back the skinheads.
Why not? I think it's well needed.
The music in general, punk music. I think there's punk. I've said this to John, and you know, John agrees with me on this one. There's punk in everybody. It's just letting it out, you know. And you throw out a tune, and yeah, this reminds us of years ago. Or the youngsters going, yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of young followers as well, and you know, they listen to the old style music, and they listen to the Pistols and the Clash and everything like that. So it's not as though you're bringing something out that they're not listening to. So yeah, bring back the punks.
Love it. So I suppose going on a bit from that, have you got any advice for people that are wanting to make their own music?
Yeah, smash it up.
No, I do, because I think I personally, and this is an honest opinion, like I'm a person I'm in love with sound. I kind of found music, and one thing I keep saying to people is you have to feel it, you have to bring it from the heart. A lot of the music you hear today, chart music, to me, I don't think it's got anything in it. I think it's lost its heart. And if you feel like you want to do it, it's coming from the heart, then do it. You know, don't, you know, hold it in. Like a lot of people select themselves to one genre as well. And Tim knows I like playing a load of different stuff, but when I'm punk is when I feel like I can say what I want to say. So that's something I found and I enjoy a lot. But whatever you do, just let it out. You know, a lot of people are trying to design it. Don't design it. We don't design it. We wrote a song that's coming out soon. Friday the 13th, and we was doing that over the phone, joking around, and that was how you do it. You're just having fun, and when you have fun, it will come out itself. But it is really, you got to let it come out, and when it comes out, don't judge it. Like a lot of people judge it. Oh, it's got to be this. It's got to be like that. I never used to do that. I used to say, I don't know what this is. I can shape it now it's out. Once I've got it, I can shape it to where I want it to go. So just do it how you feel. Feeling is the most important. Like we talk about the punks. I say, Tim, years ago, you used to have the blues, and they give you a fantastic thing of way of saying what you want as a common man. And I said, Tim, this is like punk right now. I said, in the punk from the 70s, it was a way to express yourself. And it's a freedom to express yourself. And that's what I don't think some people do.
Yeah, I mean, I am an out-and-out punk. It's you know, to me, John knows when he talks about, you know, have you heard this? And I don't listen to that shit. And he knows I just won't listen to it. It's, you know, I can't force my ears to listen to things I don't like. And John's the opposite, and he will, you know, he will listen. To me, it's just punk. A few months ago, just before the lockup, I was talking to Arthur Bazik from Nan 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 and the Lakers, and I asked him, I said, what do you think about the punk scene? And he said, the punk scene's really strong. He said, but it's about time people started doing their own thing, you know, which is the same thing as what John says. Do it from the heart. Do your own thing. Don't copy because you hear, you know, somebody do it in a certain way. Don't copy that. Do your own thing. It still sits in the big circle of punk, no matter how you do it. We got a punk show on the radio coming up, and we've got some guys doing acoustic punk. You know, you can't do acoustic punk. Of course you can. Punk's punk. It is what it is. It's just a way, an area of music where you can express and say what the hell you like in your own way.
Yeah, I think that says it. That defines it. Just what you just said there. Punk is right. Just doing what you want to do.
That's some good advice. I hope people take it. A lot of songs starting to sound very similar now.
Well, you know, the other thing is, and this is another thing I've said to Tim, is because we do have chats about music in general. Is like, I know there's a lot of people that do like beats and things like that, but they're just getting too repetitive and the same, and we're just like, no. And it's great when, like he said, we've got a punk show and we're looking at all this variosity and we're thinking they're not doing this, they're doing that different, and it sounds great, and this sounds different, and this. But some of the subjects are the same, some are not, some are just completely different, and it's everybody just doing their own thing. And that's when it sort of comes together, when you all just join up together, because you're all doing different things, but in the same sort of, like, overall the punk sort of sound. Yeah, it comes in very different varies and form, punk does, like Tim said.
Well, you did touch on... Go on.
I just said it's about enjoying yourself. We listened to a track the other night, and when we said it sounded as it had been recorded in somebody's garage by three lads, but we both agreed straight away when we did it. There's three lads enjoying themselves, having an absolute ball. That's what punk is. If the guys who are performing are not enjoying it, then why is anybody who's going to listen to it or go and see them? Why are they going to enjoy it? They're not. It feeds back. You know, John says this all the time. Whatever you do on stage feeds back to the people that are in the audience.
Don't get me on metaphors, because I've got a brilliant.
Well, you did touch upon it there. This radio show, I saw you tweet it. So how did that come about? Is it Treason Punk Show, is it?
Yeah. How it came about was Jay from SLE said, do you want to do a punk show? And I said, yeah. And after I said, yeah, I thought, well, I better ask John, but I've already said, yeah. So I rang John up and I said, John, do you want to do a punk show? I said, well, not really do you want to, but we are doing a punk show. And John's exact words were, and it was weird, but he said, is it for SLE? And I said, yeah. He said, definitely. So
I like this.
It jumped out of nowhere. But it was to be fair, we both said the same thing. It was on the bucket list of things to do, you know. Got your own show, and it's a punk show. I'm like a pig in shit. I'm having an absolute ball with it all.
Good.
It's got quiet there, didn't it? Eh? Tumbleweed.
When does that start then? When does that start?
It starts on Monday, the 26th of October at 9 p.m. on yeah. It's funny how we recorded it. It took us like 6 hours to get the vocals part. It took us 5 days to mix down. But the funniest thing is when we started it, we just couldn't stop laughing, and we was like, some of the mistakes we kept doing, and then we thought, when I was editing it down, I said we should leave some of this in because it is funny, and we ended up actually having 2 minutes of outtakes at the end because we was having so much fun. So we were sort of, I think we were just being ourselves, and that was the bit we was just being silly and joking around, and I would say it's been amazing to do. I mean, like I said, I've had offers to do a couple of bits of radio before, but like as soon as Tim said SLE, I said yeah, because I love Jay, he's a nice guy, you know, and they spread the word of everybody, so I think that's fair. But he was like, he texted me the other day, he said, I think this is the one, mate, this is the show. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I've listened to a bit of it already. I was like, yeah, calm down.
he said, how long do you want to do it? And we said, every 3 weeks, which is probably a good job. We reckoned while we were doing it, we thought we might have been able to do one a year because it was whatever you wanted to say, what your brain was thinking of saying. When it comes to, you know, you're doing a great job because you're asking the questions, but it's a hell of a lot harder than what people think it is.
Yeah.
And then to try and do it, you know, and record it and try and make it into a show. In the end, we just give up. We said, right, you know, it's two mates having a laugh, listening to some great great music, and we just ran it at that, and it is good. You know, even though, I mean, we're saying it's good because we did it, but you guys can be the judge of that.
I think if you two have fun, I think the listeners will like it too.
Yeah, it's what we said earlier on. If whatever you're portraying, whether you're singing, whether you're doing it on the radio, whether you know whatever you're doing, if you're enjoying it, it comes across like that. And we did. We had an absolute. Well, we had to just keep taking breaks and said, "Oh, I'm off for a cup of tea. I've had enough." It's, you know, I went straight to bed after we recorded. But I think we ended up with 4.5 hours on the first bit for an hour punk show. Most of it was just totally you know, that you couldn't have put it on the airways, no matter if you did it after 9 o'clock or did it in the middle of the night. So
the one thing I kept saying to this, Tim, is we've got to keep it flowing, and that was the most important thing. It's not just about us completely talking; it's about the music. That was the key for us, and that's why when you listen to the show, I think it flows. I don't think you'll be able to have a toilet break.
Well, we managed to get 16 tracks in an hour, didn't we?
Yeah,
we got 16 different bands on in an hour, which is pretty good. So it's not just, you know, us rambling on about crap and stuff. It's straight out of one and straight into the other with a bit of crap in the middle, really.
Is the music what people send you, or?
Yeah, we put a few tweets out saying, look, you know, it's free advertising for the bands. You know, punks, unless you get on a punk show, it's quite hard to get on mainstream sort of radio with punk. So we put a tweet out saying, if you want, you know, your music aired, send it to us and we'll give it a really good consideration. And we've had a few tracks that we wouldn't probably put on, but you know, the 16 that we picked, we think were superb, and we're already I think we're already about eight or nine that we've chosen already for the next show, so we're quite well in front. But if you know, people can just send it through. We're recording the next show next week, aren't we? I think, John, if we've got time.
In London, yeah, we got a big week next week.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to tie up the album. We've got rehearsals. We want to make something special. We ain't told no one yet. We've got to keep that quiet, and the radio show.
All in a week.
Yeah, well, I'm in London for the week, so it's where we've booked the rehearsal rooms for three days.
3 days, yeah.
So it's you know, and that's going to be pretty knackering as well. So we've got a heap of stuff to do, but it's all good fun as well. We had this discussion that everything that we've got sort of planned is good fun. So, but the rehearsals are really important because the plan is to get the band put together, ready for gigging early next year. John's when he said early, and then I told him that I'd sent our details in for a festival, and that's in April. So whether or not it happens because of the virus, but it shaved a couple of months off the original plan.
I said the second wave would start in September. That's when it first started. I told you in April we'd be out. They're finding vaccines now. Someone's going to crack it soon, and then we're all going to be like, "Yeah, this party!"
I really hope you're right on that one.
You heard it first on here.
Oh, yeah. I got the exclusive now.
Everything you've got's exclusive.
All right, so obviously you're working on finishing off your album, which is out Friday the 13th.
No, we got a single dropping on Friday the 13th. McCluskey's Killer. Then we've got the album dropping in December on the 11th. Have you noticed they're all odd days? Because John's got some amazing thing about using odd numbers. So the album's 15 tracks. It's all new stuff apart from Tearaway Teen will be on it, and the single that drops in November will be on it as well. And then the rest of it's all unaired. We haven't let anybody listen to it at all. So we're really, really happy with it. We've more than happy, aren't we, John?
Well, going on the single that we've just released, and this is not being big-headed, but we've like, oh my God, this has gone so well. Wait till they hear the album. That's our reaction. We're like, what is going to happen? Because we've held a lot back. We've seen some good tracks. We think, oh, that is amazing. And we just picked the two that we liked, but that was very hard to pick as well. Tearaway Teen and McCluskey's Killer, because there was probably about 8 tracks we really like these a lot. So yeah, we're kind of we think we got something good.
I look forward to it then.
December the 11th, odd numbers. You're going to go even.
What is with the odd numbers? What's that about?
I like primal numbers. So like what we did is the first one come out on the 9th, the next single come out on the 13th, and the album comes out on the 11th. So if we release anything, it'll be January the 17th, the next one. Next year we're going even.
I don't know. Confused matters.
The track numbers are all odd as well. John was insistent that we had. Well, it's 9 tracks on the EP, but it's really 7 because 2 tracks are. We did 2 radio edits because we knew that we just had a feeling when we did Treason that there's quite a few F-bombs in it, and we just sort of knew that it was a good track, but it probably wouldn't get picked up as much as it did if we knocked a few off, especially on the FM stations. And we were right; we were absolutely spot on in what we said. But we dropped it off. We originally had the radio edits on YouTube, and we took them off. We didn't want people listening to that. If we send the music to anybody, we send it with the F bombs in. They're not there to shock people. They're there because it gives the music and the lyrics some heart and the anger that we try and get across and that John sings to. So we sort of dropped the clean versions away. But a lot of the stuff on the I mean, Tearaway Teen's got no swearing in it, and a lot of the stuff on the album, when you look at it, there's no bad language in it. But there's 1 or 2 that there is, and there'll be 1 or 2 on the second album that really. There's one tune in particular that we've written that'll push the boundaries completely and see what happens. People love it or hate it. It was when I was a kid and I used to listen to Nevermind the Bollocks. When it got to the second track of Bodies, I used to lift the needle off the record player and put it onto the 3rd track because I wasn't allowed to play it at home. If I was told if they ever heard me playing it, they'd put it in the bin, and nobody was putting me Nevermind the Bollocks in the bin. So I had to wait until they went out and then just play it and play it and play it.
Wow. Well, we look forward to that. Is there anything else that we can look forward to before we say our goodbyes?
Not really. We just try to do things, and we come up with ideas all day. Like to be honest, with the punk show, I created the video completely from fresh. With the music was fresh. It's like we just do things like that. We just chat and we think, well, let's see if this works. I mean, that's the only way you can do it, really. But mostly it's just getting this album done and getting the radio station up is the big thing for us at the moment. Unless Tim's got anything, I don't know. He might tell me.
Well, no. I mean, we're looking forward to getting in the studios next week as well. That'll be. I'm really looking forward to that. So. Like John said, it day by day, we'll just come up with an idea and say, let's throw that in and see what happens. And at the moment, it's just about getting the music out there, and it's about picking up some fans ready for the album to drop. And if we, you know, if it does what we think it'll do, then it opens up other doors for other things. And then obviously next year, the biggest thing will be getting the band together and actually getting up on stage and going live, because there's nothing better than, you know, than going to a live punk gig. So
you wouldn't have had a chance to do a live run, would you?
No, we at the moment we just can't. So it'll be the big thing, and we'll I don't know what we'll kick off doing, but no doubt something will. The way it's happening, you know, we just you'll get a text, or you'll get an email, or you'll get a message and said, do you fancy doing this, or do you fancy doing that? And we're like, well, we do, but we weren't expecting to do it so quickly. So things are moving as we just let it go, let it roll. We're having a ball. We're having an absolute ball. So while we're having a laugh and enjoying it, you know, we're pissing people off as well, which is
he's right.
Yeah, we've pissed a few. We know we've pissed a few people off.
I don't like it, but
you're not doing your job if you don't piss someone off.
Yeah, exactly. We're not bothered. We're not bothered at all. We've pissed people off. So what? You know.
I think that the thing for me is going live, because, like we've said in this talking to you, to me the most important thing is like energy. Now, if you go out, and I'm going to explain this very quickly, if you write your feelings down on a bit of paper, people don't believe this. And they asked this man, he said, why would you not throw the kid's card away? Because your kids made you that. He says, because my kids write love and they put that in the card, so I keep it. And I say to Tim, is when you put that love to the it'll give you it back, and it'd just be great. You've got to give your energy, have some fun, and just let it all go on the day and have fun. And that's what we're kind of screaming to do. We want to get out there. But like Tim hasn't said and forgot, we had a couple of punk bands say, if we want a gig, we'll sort something out for you and help you. So we just sort of, April, let the gates open. Woohoo!
It's all over in April.
Floodgates come open, we all run out. Everybody's on the streets celebrating. Woo!
Oh gosh, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope I'm right.
Well, I'll grab your social media links where people can find your album to buy it, and I'll put it in the description at the bottom.
No
yeah, so thanks for talking to us, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so sorry we had a bit of a bollocks at the beginning, like, but but yeah, technology and me are a bit of a distance, but I usually leave it to John to sort out. But you know, we've got there in the end. John, come and help me.
I'll try and find a picture of you to put in that box there.
I'll send you one.